All right, man. Moving on to this week in the NFL. We saw a lot of things transpire. We saw Derek Carr go out there and shine against the Pittsburgh Steelers. What up to my young boy Dylan Smith? You know what I'm saying? That led him to call for Mike Tomlin's job once again.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Well, we gonna talk to him about that. Uh, uh, we saw that the Cowboys notched the quality road win because Justin Herbert is coming.
Yes, he is.
That boy's a baller. So that's a quality road win for the Cowboys. Ravens, with their depleted backfield, still went out there and got it done with a Superman Herculean effort by the one and only Lamar Jackson. Derrick Henry, who I thought should have been last year's MVP, showing that he's still a bad boy. I know they say Aaron Rodgers, my boy, is a bad man, but don't play with King Henry. You know what I'm talking about? But those were just some of the highlights, man, that we saw from the week. What were some of y'all other thoughts on some of the games that transpired this week? Caesar, I'll start with you.
Yeah, man. So for me, obviously, I start off with the Cowboys win just because of the way they did it. I think the defense was the reason we won the game, which is big for me because last year all I said was that we didn't have a defense. So the fact that it's happening right now for me is very impressive. Shout out to Greg Zuerlein for bouncing back after having a bad week in the kicking game and nailing one from 56 yards. The thing that stood out to me the most, I'll let the other guys talk about Lamar Jackson. I want to talk about Derek Carr for a minute, man. For me, I didn't know what the Raiders would do this year, but I'm just telling you, they look like the real deal. I know it's just week 2. I know it's early. I know a lot of things can change. But for what it's worth, Derek Carr showed me that he's got the goods. Injured in the game, came back and led his team on the road in a hostile environment and beat a quality team. That's really all you can ask for in your quarterback, to do all of that and gut it out and lead your team to victory. Very impressed with that. So for me, as much as I love Lamar Jackson, I'm going to let these guys hit that. I was very, very much impressed with Derek Carr because I did not expect that from him in that big-time moment.
Mm-hmm. JoJo, what were your takeaways from this past week, dog?
Man, I really want to talk about a surprise team, Carolina Panthers. Because I did not see this coming. I really didn't. But their defense is legit. Like it really is. I know people going to say, the Saints was missing their assistants. A lot of their players was hurt.
I thought you were going to say they were missing Drew Brees. Boy.
No. But the thing is, what people don't understand is the Saints have trouble when they go to Carolina every year. If you go back and look at Drew Brees' numbers, he struggled when he went to Carolina. So I still think they probably would have done. Maybe the game would have been closer. But I still think, Carolina is really legit. Of course, I have to mention my Niners.
Of course.
2-0. We just go do what we do. We win.
That's what Jimmy Garoppolo does. It's true.
Don't do that.
In spite, but we'll say that for another day. In spite, it's the defense. Let's not do that because I'm trying not to go here.
No, do that.
Trey Lance.
The people want to know what you think about it.
Because Joe, who played quarterback the entire game for the 49ers?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Okay. His numbers,
right.
They weren't 300-yard numbers, but
right. Uh-huh.
But they were impressive, Joe. Like
can I ask you something?
Absolutely.
What QB played the entire game when Peyton Manning won his last Super Bowl?
Talk, Joe.
What about when Trent Dilfer won?
So you calling Jimmy G hurt Nick Payton?
I'm calling for Jimmy G's job is what I'm calling for. That's what I'm calling for.
Oh man.
Let me go and get that out there. That's what I'm calling for. But I'm gonna go ahead. I know T. I know you probably gonna talk about Lamar.
Take your time.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Ray, what I will say is the Raiders. People trying to get rid of Carr.
Yeah.
But he's looking like, and John
Gruden, people. There you go. That's who we're trying to get rid of.
Yeah, right. And he's on the hot seat this year, right?
Yeah.
This is year what?
It should be like four or five, right? Yeah, 4 or 5. Yeah.
So I mean, with a 10-year contract, they need their money's worth at this point. The Steelers, it ain't got nothing to do with Tomlin, but they look like they might be in trouble.
Don't tell Dylan Smith that.
I'm just saying they might be in trouble, but my reason for them being in trouble is Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
I think they should have got rid of him.
I totally agree.
They should have gotten rid of him. But that's what I got for this week, man.
T, what were your thoughts on what went down this past week in the NFL, dog?
Kyler Murray got to be the MVP front runner right now.
Don't tell some of these Brady fans that.
He got to be. He got to be. The boy's just incredible. I mean, come on, Brady. He just do that every year, and I mean, it's the Atlanta Falcons. Granted, the Falcons did play them tough there until Ryan started throwing them picks. The supposed Hall of Famer here soon that we talked about off.
Y'all say they letting everybody in. Y'all say Eli's second ballot, so
he coming in second ballot. I'm just letting you know that right off the top.
He coming in second ballot.
Yeah. But Kyler Murray has been impressive to me. They've got a lot of freaking weapons in Arizona. They scared me. I'll be honest with you. That game scares me when we play them. Because it's like, who you gonna stop? I mean, you either gonna deal with Nuck, you either gonna deal with Kirk, you gotta deal with Rondale Moore. You still got AJ Green, who's still on some serviceable stuff. My division scares me altogether.
It's the best division. It's the best division in the NFC.
Best division in the NFC.
Yeah, and the AFC too for that matter.
Probably the league.
Yeah, right. The AFC and the NFC West. Both conferences.
Oh man, you said
have the best teams.
Denver is shocking right now too.
Yeah. And it's just great to see Kyler. Just great to see Kyler. But
tell me about them Houston Texans.
Houston Texans. No, but I want to talk about them just a hell.
Yeah.
They're one of them teams that nobody wants to discuss, and I get it. A lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, out in front, whatever you want to call it. But national sports media not gonna touch them. But I'm gonna give them a little bit of respect after 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, they beat Jacksonville. I get it. That's Jacksonville. But the game against Cleveland, man, when they were like getting 13 points on the books, I think they were looking for Cleveland to just run him out of there. Man, they played with Cleveland. Like, they were up on Cleveland. They were giving Cleveland all they could ask for them. This is a quality team. Yeah. And really, when you look at that team, and I really didn't think about it until me and my pops actually got to talking about the Texans. And he was like, that team probably a little motivated. I mean, you got guys that are all throwaways. David Johnson, Tyrod Taylor, Brandon Cooks, Phillip Lindsay. I mean, them boys they playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. So they might not be one of them teams that you can just go push over and run over week after week. And they may just be playing for just sheer pride. I mean, the defense actually looks decent, more or less, and there ain't no such thing as a great defense in the NFL anymore. But they're playing like they belong and they can compete. So I want to give them some respect. Now, we might not have touched Lamar, but I'm going to touch it. Lamar is just nice. How about that?
No doubt.
The boy is just nice. They don't want to give him a lot of credit. He's not sexy like Mahomes. He don't do all the things that Mahomes do. He's not Jordan-esque. No, he's not. You looked at that game at the beginning of that one.
That Joe word up there.
Right.
Mahomes, Jordan-esque.
But you look at that game at the very beginning and you like, oh man, Lamar finna have one of them games.
Mm-hmm.
But that is that's a team effort with a Superman type player on your team. Because the defense really did their job. The defense did all they could do. They were bend, don't break. But when Lamar said it's go time, there wasn't a guy on the field that could stop him. Honey Badger couldn't do nothing with him.
Yeah.
It just ain't nobody that can do anything with him.
And look, just like you said, T, with the Houston Texans playing with a chip on their shoulder, I think it's the same thing with Lamar. Like when he's got, key guys out for the season, all of his running backs that were on the roster to start the season, not there. Key defensive guys out. I think Lamar is taking it upon himself. And if you watched that game last night, listen, Patrick Mahomes is nice. He's legendary already. But last night, the best player in that game was Lamar Jackson.
Oh, ain't no doubt.
And it wasn't even close. Like Lamar Jackson carried a football team to victory when guys guys knew that he was going to have to make plays on the defensive end, and they knew they had to stop one guy. They still couldn't do it. And I don't care what you say about him.
And you know what's even better? You know what's even more beautiful? Is when Harbaugh looked over at that man and said, what you want to do? Yeah. You want to go for this or not? Yeah. There ain't too many quarterbacks in the league that get that kind of, hey, man, what you want to do? Like, I'm believing this thing to you. You got the keys, you rolling. What you want to do? There ain't too many quarterbacks in the league that get that. Russell don't get that.
Nah.
Russell don't get that. Rodgers don't get that.
Thank you. No, he sure doesn't.
He doesn't get that.
I sure wish he would have got it in the NFC Championship game. Yeah. You're right.
But Lamar gets that.
And when Lamar's in that mode, it's like a creative player on Madden. There's nothing you can do. You just have to chalk it up because everything he was doing late in that game was working. Like we were talking about before we got started, him throwing a perfect pass in midair. Right? That's just stuff that you cannot teach. So if he's not a quarterback, then show me one that can do that. Besides him and Patrick Mahomes are the only two, period. Yeah. So shout out to that guy, man, for putting the team on his back and leading the victory on the biggest stages last night.
Well, as we tape right now, I'm watching my Green Bay Packers trying to bounce back after a god-awful performance against New Orleans Saints. As we taping right now, they up 35-17. I'm still not satisfied.
I was about to say, how are you upset with somebody being up 35-17?
Because on my TV right now, Jared Goff just literally just dropped the ball for no reason. Because of stuff like that. That's why we win. You know what I'm saying? That's why we win. We still got problems over there in Green Bay. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole nother story. The main takeaway I had from this past week is these injuries, bro. These injuries piling up left and right and left and right and left and right in this league. But again, I say this: if your team cannot hold up, if your team cannot stay healthy, or if you cannot, if you don't have depth on your roster, you're not a good football team.
Really?
This is a violent sport. I was watching a documentary, great documentary, by the way. I bought it instantly. On PBS, Ken Burns did a joint on Muhammad Ali, America. If Ken Burns does a documentary on you, you something special. Okay? Because that man leaves no stone unturned. So in the documentary, they touched on the fight against Henry Cooper. If you know your stuff for real, America, y'all know that Henry Cooper was a British champion. Muhammad Ali, when he was still Cassius Clay, went over there, fought Henry Cooper. Henry Cooper put Ali on his butt. He put him down, caught him with a left hook. Caught him real good with a left hook. Ali went on to whoop that man because Henry Cooper had a problem with cuts. The man was a good fighter in terms of his skill, but he couldn't stop getting cut. And that's the same thing about this NFL, bro. Yeah. You can have all the wiggle to your game. You can be a great pass rusher. You can be this, be that. But in this violent sport, if you can't hold up to the violence, you're not a good football player. Just like a boxer who doesn't have a good chin isn't a good boxer. So again, in the ultimate team sport, in my opinion, that's why organizations like the Patriots, well, you got a genius like Bill, my brother Tim G. Jacob in a song one time called him the hooded genius. He right. That boy gonna put together that roster in a way where he can compensate for stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he looks for guys who are healthy and they train those guys properly. Organizations like that, that's who really wins. My organization, I don't think my organization is like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how y'all brothers feel about yours. I'm just speaking for mine.
My team's already in the bucket with injuries, so I mean, you're speaking in this case.
But to y'all credit now, and me and you texted about this.
Yeah.
Y'all depleted, I know it, pass rusher.
Yeah.
But then y'all had that kid Kamara, who this may be the Hard Knocks talking again. That was a great seat. This year with y'all being on Hard Knocks, I really liked it. So the Kamara guy, he's hungry. Now he's undersized, but he's hungry and all that kind of stuff. Now him being undersized, I don't know if that's gonna lead to him being injured. But seemed like y'all had some guys who want to be there, who want to work hard, that can fill that void. Hey, and y'all won the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
You gotta
saying?
have it. You got it, but it goes back to your point though. We're down 3 defensive linemen, so he's in the game because of that.
Mhm.
Now, last year, I don't know if you have that, and not just at that position, but any position. We've suffered injuries with a linebacking core last year with Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith, and so you go and draft a guy like Michael Parsons. Well, Parsons has to drop down to the defensive line last week.
True, that's right. That's
But
right.
you now have that depth. So when guys, your top 2 go down, you do have a third guy that's serviceable, right?
Boom,
Same
you're
thing.
right.
Same thing with our secondary. Same thing with the offensive line. The guy that started at right tackle yesterday versus Bosa literally came off of our practice squad last year. So he's had that real time action, took his beating, came back, trained, got stronger, got more fit, and he was the reason. And I'm one of those guys that said, yes, it's an absolute team game, but he was the reason that Joey Bosa did nothing against us because he lined up against that guy. He was in shape. He had his experience. And whereas he wasn't even supposed to play, he's starting now and shining in a big game. Man, you have to have depth, especially with another game added on to the season. You got to have it.
It's imperative. So these GMs, the GMs got to get called out. Hopefully we do it. Major sports media might not call them out. We gonna do it here, you know what I'm saying? If we gotta Google their names and find out who these GMs are,
I know who you are.
You know what I'm saying? Because you really gotta hold those guys accountable too in this NFL. Because somebody gonna get hurt. Absolutely. We talked about Lamar, but that man got no backs. Now, to their credit, they did go get some names that we know.
They did.
Right. I know Latavius Murray. I know Devontae Freeman.
Yeah.
Did I see Le'Veon Bell over there too?
He is over there.
On the practice squad.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. They didn't win, got lit. We're gonna have to do a whole
segment on that.
Deep dive on Le'Veon Bell's fall from grace.
Fumble in the bag.
This is outrageous. But they went out and got some guys though.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna have to do that because it's just violence, man. So, and we gonna this week too, we're gonna see a lot more of this. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. America, y'all chime in and tell us what y'all thought. How did your team do? You know what I'm saying? Are you 2-0? Are you like me, about to be 1-1 right now? They say it's hard to come back from 0-2, so I'm hoping your team ain't 0-2 out there. You know what I'm saying? Or are you 2-0 and still complaining like somebody we know, someone we know right here? America, have y'all ever seen a fan?
I don't understand it.
Have you ever seen a fan call for his starting quarterback's job when he's 2-0?
Leave my homie alone.
Tell us that.
Thank you.
Hey, America, if you don't tell us anything else, tell us what it's like to be 2-0 with your quarterback playing well
and call for his job.
Here we go.
We talking about well.
Here we go.
189 yards and 1 touchdown is well.
So extra. Wow.
189 and a tub is well.
And before I go now, I forgot. Somebody said something about Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah.
Teddy Bridgewater is performing how everybody thought Jameis was last
Teddy
week.
Bridgewater should be my quarterback.
I know Jameis had the 5 tubs last week, but he threw for a $148 against us.
Jameis Winston also threw to a guy for the Panthers, and the guy was so caught off guard that the pass hit him in the chest, he almost dropped it. He dropped the first one because he couldn't believe that Jameis would throw that ball to him like that. The second time, he said, ain't no way he throwing this to me again. J.C. Horn.
Bro, that first game, that man ain't really do nothing but get the touchdown.
That's true.
Them boys were running that rock. Their defense was incredible. Aaron Rodgers did not want to be at work. He was caught up with his boo thing. I'm not going to go into all that, but let's just say Aaron is a better quarterback when he's single. That's all I'm saying.
Come on.
That's all I'm going to say. But that boy Teddy Bridgewater, it's shining out there. Yeah. It's a long season. I don't know if it's going to continue, but that boy's shining. But America, y'all chime in and tell us what y'all think about this past week in NFL. Put it on something. My kids wanted me to tell y'all to make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me across all social media platforms, like the videos, and share them. Did I forget anything?
And turn on the post notifications.
Y'all heard them. And also, visit Statement Tees, LLC.com, and shop with us. That's Statement Tees. Every t-shirt you wear
makes a statement.